Marietta Township in Crawford County now, Wisconsin. This is a cemetery where some of the grandchildren, at least, of Daniel and Elizabeth are buried. It's up on a hill, and we took a lot of dirt roads winding all over to get here. Cemetery is back there. We'll go there in a little bit. But there's hill. Now we're looking out over some of the terrain here. This is down just a little bit from what looked to be the highest point, and you can see a long way from there. It's windy up here. Here's a sign at the front of the cemetery. It's crooked. I'll turn to read it better. It talks about Mary Jane, Rogers, Clark, and Cook, and some of the other family. I see just a couple gravestones up there. This is Daniel's granddaughter's gravestone, Mary Jane, wife of J.E. Rogers, and it's back here in the corner of the cemetery. There's the gate we came through, and you can see the sign there that I had before. And this is the extent of the cemetery again. Just that. And a gravestone here. There's Gwen. And it just goes right over to there. And this is it, just a real small area. This small stone has scratched on it, Frank Belcher. This one we couldn't read. There's a couple of graves there with daylilies on them with no stone. And there's one back there, two daylilies. There's another real small narrow stone scratched on it, says Dean. And another one that says Haskins. And this other stone, smaller stone that was up by Mary's stone, we couldn't read. And then there's Mary's stone. This is just showing how far you can see from up here. We're between the cemetery and where George, Daniel, and Hiram apparently own their land. I couldn't find a land record for Daniel, but he lived next to Hiram on the census. So we need to go, to find their land, we need to go one section east and two sections to the south. But this is on the road, this Maple Ridge Road, which goes between the cemetery and where they own their land. It's up high here. The cemetery was off this way down the road, just around. This is looking at section 18 where George owned his land. We're just south of the intersection of Maple Ridge Road and Highway E. He owned apparently both sides of the road here, and this is high again, and you can see a long ways from here. This is looking more toward the west. This is the east, and then they own south too, and the next section south of here, straight south of wherever you go. house that's here now on the corner there. And there, right over the hill there is the intersection. We're looking to the northwest over here now. We've gone just about all the way around. So, this is part of the land, I think, I'd have to look again, but I think that George sold part of this to Hiram. That's Highway E, going to the east. Now I'm standing up by Christ Cemetery, which is in the very southeast corner of Section 17, Marietta Township, where they also own some land in this section. And this would be almost as close a cemetery as the Pioneer Wood Cook Cemetery would be. And this is looking out across Section 17 from this southeast corner over toward the northwest. Now we're going toward the south here, and I'll swing around, and it's a road. Up here's the cemetery gate. The name of the cemetery is over here. Pleasant Mound, Christ Cemetery. This is in Pleasant Mound Cemetery. It's a bit larger than the other one, but not a big cemetery. It's up here. It has some big cedar, pine trees in it. This cemetery has been inventoried, and we didn't find any family names in this cemetery. But it is close to where they did own some land.